Okay, we're going to talk about specialty similarity. Okay, you can prove by angle, angle, side, 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 or side, angle, side that two triangles are similar. Okay, similar. Side, 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 angle, side, those are congruent triangles as well if you do that, but this is just proving that they're similar. Okay, not congruent. So in angle, angle, if two angles of one triangle are congruent to two angles of another triangle, then these two triangles are similar, right? So aren't two angles congruent in both triangles? So yes, they're similar, okay? So one thing to notice though is that if you have two angles that are congruent, like if this was, I don't know, 60 and 70 and this was 60 and 70, wouldn't this one have to be 50 and 50? So all three of them really are. But it only takes two to say angle, angle. Once you find two angles congruent, you know actually that all three are congruent, okay? So if two angle pairs are congruent, then the third angle pair must be congruent as well. So this was similar by angle, angle, okay? Now this one's side, side, side. So when we did congruent, it was all three sides were congruent, but this is not the same. This one is if those three sides that correspond to each other are proportional. Proportional. In other words, they have the same scale factor. Then they're similar. Okay, remember scale factors new over old. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, this is the new shape, right? Because it got created from the old shape. We're in a left to right society, right? So this is the original or old. So 8 is to 4, right? 18 is to 9. And 12 is to 6. Aren't all those 2? If you reduce all of those, wouldn't you get 2? Okay, so the scale factor is 2. So since all the sides are proportional or have the same scale factor, then they are similar. These are similar, just like these were similar. And the reason that they were similar is side, 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 right? Side, side, side. So side, side, side was the reason that these two are similar. Hopefully you can see all those numbers at the bottom. Okay, so 8 is to 4, 12 is to 6, 18 is to 9, and I put them all down here, and if you reduce them, they're 2, right? So the sides are all proportional, have the same scale factor, right? So by side, 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 they're similar. Okay, so here's side, angle, side, okay? So the two corresponding sides of two triangles are proportional, right? Okay, if the sides are proportional and the angle that's in between, see that angle that's in between? That one has to be congruent. The angle has to be congruent. So if the two angles are congruent and then the sides are proportional, okay, then these are going to be similar, okay? So the included angle is congruent, like I said a minute ago. So the sides are proportional, same scale factor, right? And then the one in between, the angle in between has to be congruent. So in this picture, the angles are congruent, and then the sides, I'm going to do new over old, right? 10 is to 5, and then 16 is to 8, and then aren't both of those 2? So they have the same, the sides have the same scale factor, right? Okay, the scale factor is 2, so the sides are proportional, and the angle in between, or the included angle, is congruent. So this is two triangles that are similar by side, angle, side. Side, angle, side. This is side, angle, side, but similarity because the sides were proportional, not congruent, like in the other one when we did congruent triangles. Okay, so those are the 3, and that's what we're learning today. Okay, here's some problems. Okay, we know this one's congruent, okay, in both triangles, and we've got a 35 in both triangles. So is this similar? Yes. By what reason? Because there's 2 angles in both triangles that are congruent. So by angle, angle, they're congruent. Okay? So X, Y, Z. Okay, X went to the middle from the 35. So we have to start from the 35 and go to the middle. So H, Y, J. Okay? So this is saying they're similar, not congruent. Congruent would have the equal sign underneath that wavy line or the tilde. Okay, so this one looks like a side, side, side if it is similar, okay? So we have to check to see if the sides are all proportional or have the same scale factor. So this one goes with this one, right? You know, okay, so 9 is to 6, and 12 is to 8, and 15 is to 10, and all of those are 3/2. Let me show you how to do one of them with a calculator just so you'll know again. Okay, 9/6. So I could say 9 divided, whoops, that's the wrong one, clear. Okay, 9 divided by 6. Hit enter, there's the decimal, do math, enter, enter, and I get 3/2, right? Okay, all of those are 3/2 if I do them, okay? And I think if you do it this way, where you hit the green button and this one up here and then hit enter and you put it into that kind of a fraction, it reduces it for you. Whoops, too many. Okay, 9/6, and then if you hit enter, oh, it reduces it right away. So probably the best way is just to use the green, the yellow, the y equals, and then hit enter, okay? All right, so this one, yes, is similar by side, side, side. ARU is similar to TXB, right? Okay, now this one doesn't look similar, okay? 75 and 50 for the small triangle. For the big triangle, it's 75 and 55, so it really looks like it's not going to be. But if it was, it'd be by angle, angle, wouldn't it, right? Okay, we have to check. Okay, 75 and 50 is 125, and we subtract from 180, and we get, what is that, 55? Oh, there's a 55. It's just wonky, okay? So, also, I mean, this obviously is going to be 50, right? 75 and 55 is 130, so minus 180, right? You get 50, okay? So basically I've got angle, angle in the small one that are congruent to angle, angle here in this one. So by angle, angle. Yeah, 75 in the small one and the big one, right? Okay, and then 55 here in the big one and 55 in the small one. So by angle, angle, yes, they are similar. TPJ, okay, 75 went to the 50, so to do the big one, you have to go from 75 to the 50, so you say TAN. Okay, all right. If this is, it's going to be side, angle, side, okay, because that's a side, an angle, and a side. So the angles are congruent like they're supposed to be. Now we have to see if the sides are proportional. Okay, so 15 goes with 24, right? So we say 15 is to 24, right? And then 20 is to 32. I wonder if both of those will reduce. Okay, 3 goes into this one and makes 5/8, right? 3 into that, 3 into this. Okay, 5 goes in, no, got to go 4 into this one. So you divide by 4 on both of them, and that's 5. Divide by 4 here, that's 8 as well. So both of them are 5/8, but you could always do it this way. You could say 15 divided by 24, hit enter, math, enter, enter. The other way is faster though. I'm just used to doing that. 5/8, okay? So that's yes, they're similar by side, angle, side, okay? A couple of problems here. Are these similar, okay? The hypotenuse one matches up with this one. So that's 6 is to 8, right? That's 0.75, okay? 5 is to 7, and you can check that. If you get a 0.75, you're good. If you don't, you can stop. So 5 divided by 7 is not 0.75. So this is, they should all reduce to the same thing, and that 5/7 is obviously reduced. This would reduce to 3/4. So this is no, not similar. Okay, and then here, this one matches up with this one. So we'll say 2.5 is to 1. So we know that's 2.5. This one goes with this one, right? So 5/2, 5/2. Isn't that reduced 2.5? If you punch it into a calculator, you know, 5 divided by 2, you get 2.5, right? Okay, and then this last one's kind of weird. 6 is to 12/5. Okay, for me, I do this. I move this to the top, and it'll be 30/12. You know, multiply them together and then reduce it, you get 2.5. Okay, but if you're not sure, you can say 6 divided by, put a parenthesis, and then say 12 divided by 5, parenthesis, and hit enter, and guess what? It's 2.5. So that's 2.5, this is 2.5, and so is this one. Okay, so this is similar. Okay, by what reason? Side, side, side. Because these are 3 sides that are proportional to each other. Okay, number 7. Okay, these are similar triangles. Now that's parallel, right? So if you have parallel lines, aren't those like corresponding angles? Okay? And those are corresponding angles as well, right? And also, isn't this one shared by both triangles? So you've got your angle for sure, right? So this angle and this angle, you know, in the big triangle are congruent. Well, let's do it this way. This one's congruent in both triangles, okay? Now in the small triangle, this one's congruent. In the big triangle, it's congruent to this one. These two are congruent to each other. These two are congruent to each other. This one's in the small triangle and the big triangle, right? So you've got angle for sure. And then of course the third side is going to be congruent. It's the reflexive angle, actually. It's the one that's equal to itself. It's the same size in both the small triangle and the big triangle, right? Okay, so angle. Okay, whenever you have a parallelogram, alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate interior angles are congruent. So you know that you have angle in both triangles, okay? And then in this last one, these are parallel, right? We know their vertical angles are congruent, right? If those are parallel, then that one would be congruent to this one. So that's enough right there to say angle, right? Okay, and we could go on to say that this one's congruent to this one. If you have angle, you always obviously have angle, so whatever. Okay, the last one here. It says, is it possible for these two triangles to be similar if you have these measurements? So just kind of draw them the same, okay? So this is A, B, C, X, Y, Z. They say A is 43, C is 56, okay? And Y is 84, Z is 56, right? Okay, so for them to be similar, we have to have two angles that are congruent, actually all three. Okay, so we need to check. Okay, 56 and 43, if I add them together, I'm going to get 99. So if I subtract from 180, I'm going to get 81. So this is 81. Okay, so if this is 81, then I've got everything I need, but it's not going to be. Okay, 84 and 56 is 140. Subtract from 180, and that's going to be 40. So I only have one. Well, I circled that one. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, so basically these two guys are congruent. So one angle in both triangles are congruent, but none of the other ones are. So these are not similar. Okay? Yay. See you later.